Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Dead Sons pawn collection for the Starfinder role-playing game. So what this is, if you're not familiar with what the Starfinder pawns are, they are essentially cardboard stand-ups that you use as basically as miniatures in combat if you're using like tabletop and a grid. It's especially handy for like the ship combat and stuff like that. I've done a couple of videos for the pawns in the past with the, I believe I did one on the Alien Archives and the core rulebook pawn set. I do have the Pact Worlds one as well, which I actually still haven't opened up yet, so I'll have to do that on this channel as well. And yeah, so this is one of the sets that's come out, and they plan on doing these for the other adventure paths as well. They just haven't been released as of the time that I'm recording this, which is in about mid-March of 2019, or at least if they have for the Against the Iron Throne adventure path, for example, they just haven't come into the game stores that we have here in Nova Scotia. But anyway, the pawns are, in my opinion, a wonderful product. And it's a great way to get a bunch of things to help you run your combats using miniatures, so that you have an idea, so everyone can see where everyone is in combat, and it's a really cost-effective alternative to going out and spending significantly more money on like plastic or pewter figures. In fact, I actually do have some figures that I want to show or do a video for the Starfinder role-playing game as well, or that can be used with Starfinder. But the pawns is one of my favorite types of products, and I don't think I've really talked about that enough. I just think that they're just a wonderful way for people to get these things and be able to have this sort of confusion-free combat for a really affordable price. The one thing about these particular sets that come like this, such as the Pawn Collection, the Core Rulebooks Pawn Collection, and the Pact Worlds Pawn Collection, is that these come with the cardboard figures only. They don't come with any of the bases. However, if you get like the Alien Archive set, which is a large box set, they come with pawns, or they come with bases in them already. So if you have that, you could just use those, it's fine. They do also sell the bases separately, and they're a pretty decent price from what I remember. I haven't seen them in stores here for quite a while. I think they're around $12 Canadian, so around $8, $9, and you get a couple dozen bases, I believe. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and actually look at this particular pawn collection specifically. So like I said, this is for the Dead Sons Adventure Path, which was the first adventure path to be released for the Starfinder game. I'm just trying to find a place where I can get the plastic open here. And what this is really is, it gives you the unique monsters that weren't in the Alien Archive, for example, or that weren't going to appear in the Alien Archive when it came out. So it gives you those, it gives you a bunch of the NPCs, as well as the ships, because that's sort of an important aspect here. So let's just see if we can get this plastic off. And actually, at the time that I'm recording this, I'm only a couple of days away from actually running the first installment, or starting the first installment, Instant Epsilon Station, which I did a video for that was put out a couple of days prior to this one. So I'm really looking forward to that. I was initially running the Against the Iron Throne story. However, there were some issues with some players that had to drop out, and some new players that are looking to join, and just players getting more of the books and wanting to make new characters. So a lot of the foundation work that I had set up for the Aeon Throne story just wasn't going to work anymore. So I got this adventure path here completed. I picked up these pawns, and I can't wait to run it. So if you're wondering, this is sort of what the pawn sheets look like. So they're just sort of again, cardboard figures that are double-sided, so that you can just stand them up in a base and you can go ahead and use them. So the core rulebook, pawn collection, and stuff like the Alien Archives, they have a bunch of stuff for the player characters. But again, this has the unique creatures as well as like NPCs and stuff like that. For example, we have Clara 247. And she appears in Incident at Absalon Station, so that's kind of cool to see her there. So yeah, just a lot of cool stuff here. And I believe Chiskick here is also one of the sort of patron characters for the players as well, so it's kind of cool that we got him there as well. So we'll just have a quick look at some of these sheets. And we'll just sort of hold this up. And actually we have Galvasar Knorr. I believe I probably butchered that name, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read it through the viewfinder here. But he's actually the representative, or the diplomat that gets the players. He's the arbiter in this dispute thing that's going on in Incident at Absalon Station. So we have him there as well. So again, just some really, really cool stuff. And if you want to look at these in a little more detail, then just feel free to pause the video. So yeah, like I said, I can't really, and I feel like I don't want to say I've done these a disservice, but I just don't know if I've necessarily really praised these things, these pawn sets, enough. Like, as someone who had spent an obscene amount of money on plastic miniatures in the past, and the fact that they're not as readily available these days for a lot of role-playing games, or if you buy them, you're spending more money than I did back in the day, and you're getting less of them. These things are just absolutely fantastic, and I would honestly recommend these, I think, before just about anything else. The artwork on these, in my opinion, are always fantastic. We got some ships here as well, so we'll just sort of flip this over, including we got the Sunrise Maiden here. But the artwork on these is always great, and they come in so handy. And they store really easily. Like when I went to run the Starfinder games that I was doing, I had all of the pawns that I needed for the entire adventure. So not even just for the encounters I thought they were going to have that day, but the entire adventure booklet. I had all the pawns I needed for that, all of the bases, and all the stuff that I needed. And I fit them in just an empty magic card box that came with one the card sleeve sort of thing. Which when I go to run other games where I'm using the plastic miniatures, they take up a lot more space, and it's also a thing where if I have I just don't have everything that I need. But these pawn sets really sort of fill these voids, because it literally gives you basically everything that you need, especially with these ones that are geared towards the specific adventures. So if you combine this with the Alien Archive pawn set, which is one that I highly, highly recommend as well for people getting into the Starfinder game, then you have basically everything that you need to run this particular adventure. So again, just some really, really awesome. Just awesome, really cool looking creatures. I mean, things that I could never imagine in 100 years. So that was the Pathfinder Pawns, or Starfinder Pawns, I should say, Dead Suns collection. The retail price for this was $24.99 US, and for that amount, you're getting over 100 pawns to use in your game. So for that money, it's definitely worth it. I paid a little bit more, obviously, because I live in Canada, so it was around $30, all said and done here in Canada, but it was $30, in my opinion, really well spent. So if you're into the Starfinder role-playing game, then I consider these to be an almost must-have, especially if you're a game master. If you're going to be running the Starfinder game, then these things are, in my opinion, a must-have. I just think it's a wonderful accessory from a product line that has really strong accessories to begin with. So, in my opinion, this lives up to the same quality and standards of all of the Paizo supplements or accessories that they put out for all of their products. Just really well done. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've gone through, or if you're a game master that was running the Dead Suns Adventure Path, let me know. Did you use these pawns? Did you have them at the time you decided to run, or do you wish you had them at the time that you started to run? So just let me know, and let me know what your thoughts are on the pawns in general. Like I said, I think they're great. They're a really affordable way to get an instant collection of tokens to use to make combat way easier. So thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take care.